Hey everybody, I'm Paintball Dad. Thanks for tuning into my channel. I am about to head out to my home field of Palmetto Hills Paintball in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and this is the first weekend after Hurricane Helene. So this is going to be kind of interesting seeing how everybody, held up throughout the storm. I myself actually got pretty lucky. I only lost power for like 9 hours, and there was no damage to my house. But I know that I got very lucky because I apparently am just like outside of the eye of the storm, or the main path of damage, because I do know people who are just like a town or two over from me in South Carolina who have lost power for days, for like they just got power like a few days ago back to their houses. So it's crazy to see how close the destruction was to where I am. But yeah, this is going to be, a good chance to get to talk to people and see how they fared throughout the storm. And I haven't played in a while, speedball, so I am dying to get out back on the speedball field, even though I'm not feeling terribly well. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm a little congested in the nose right now. But yeah, it's been a while, so I just need to get back into playing paintball. But here we go. So I am really glad that I went to play this past Sunday. I got to meet up with some friends. I got to meet up with one of my old teammates. I got to meet up with a couple of fans from my YouTube, actually. I even crossed paths with Matt the Gym Rat, who I gotta say always impresses me with how he remembers me, because I expect someone on his level of popularity to forget about, someone like me. So really great time running into him. And to my surprise, the field was actually jam-packed with local teams. I thought that it would be kind of dead because this was the weekend of CFOA, but most of the teams from my home field were actually there. So talking about this hurricane that we just had, I've lived through a lot of hurricanes, and normally I always find that the news or the weather reports tend to over-exaggerate, and so I don't usually worry too much about it. However, this time, there was something definitely different about this hurricane. I remember the day of the hurricane, I was driving early in the morning to work, it was still dark out, and then all of a sudden I saw the sky light up green, and I had never seen that before. I actually Googled it, and I learned that the sky turning green is a sign of a tornado. And so that's kind of like when I got my first clue that this storm was going to be something way bigger than I had expected. And that obviously, from all the news reports, that's kind of what we all see has actually happened, is that there's a lot of areas that have had no damage, but then there's some areas that have had all of the damage. For me personally, I got lucky. There was no damage to my house, and I only lost power for like 9 hours. But as I was driving through the town the next day, I actually saw a house that was completely taken out by a tree. Like a huge tree just dropped on it and completely took out the second floor and most of the front porch of the house. It was just completely destroyed. And as I talked to the guys at the field, they kind of had similar experiences. A lot of them had no damage. They barely lost power, maybe for just a couple of hours, but then some of them lost almost everything. I know I was talking to one guy who said he actually lost his job. Then I have some friends in the Georgia area who had no power for a whole week. And now, as I'm recording this, Florida just got hit by Hurricane Milton. And I have a feeling that these two back-to-back storms are going to have a big impact on World Cup, which is coming right around the corner. I think there's enough time between now and then for the venue to recover and for everything to be set up so that World Cup can still take place. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of teams and a lot of players who probably aren't going to be able to make it for financial reasons or reasons of just recovering their assets or their health. I've definitely learned to be a little more grateful throughout this experience, because for as rough of a year as I've had, I'm still able to go out and play paintball. I'm actually planning to go to World Cup as well, so things could definitely be worse. But maybe in the near future I'll make a video where I actually talk a little more about the stuff that I've been going through, because I for sure have had a crazy year. Just to give you a summary of some of the big things that have happened this year, in the course of 1 year, I had to replace the roof of my house, I replaced the HVAC in my house, I had some water damage in my house, so I had to get the floor fixed up and fix up some of the plumbing. And a lot of this stuff my insurance company actually did not cover. So I was about 25 grand at least in debt. just from repairing and try to upkeep my house throughout this last year. And I finally got pushed into a corner where I decided, you know what, I have to make a harsh decision, and I think I need to just sell the house and move on to what's next. But I'm not going to go too much into detail about that right now. I want to hear from you guys though. How did you guys fare throughout these two storms, Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton? Were you guys affected at all? Do you know people who were affected? How did your paintball fields survive through these storms if they were in the path of impact? And that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope I get to see you guys at World Cup.